I'm making a meringue roulade, which is perfect for Christmas. It's got raspberries, pistachios and rose petals, and it's very festive. It's a bit like a simplified version of a Yule log. I'm starting by whisking egg whites. When the white starts turning frothy, I add the sugar, a bit at a time. And I do it by hand, but a machine is perfectly fine, any kind of mixer. And add a little bit of corn flour, a bit of vanilla, and some vinegar. And the corn flour and the vinegar will make the meringue not set too hard when it's baked. And I wipe the bit of meringue here on the bottom. There's residues of old meringues on the tray, just like that. And this bit of meringue just makes the paper stick nicely to the edges. Everything goes in. So it looks nice. And the tray can now go in the oven at 160 for 30 minutes, and it's ready to go. Just going to put the log together now. Some mascarpone cheese into a bowl with icing sugar and a little bit of rose water. Just a bit. I don't like adding too much because it tends to dominate. So you add a tiny bit and then you can add more later. So I just loosened the mascarpone with some icing sugar and rose water. And now I'm going to add some whipping cream. Just about here, a little bit more. That's it. That's just the kind of texture that I want. It's slightly whipped, but it's not completely finished, so I can spread it over. Cool down. And this is where you have to have a lot of faith, because this meringue looks all firm and it's quite hard to imagine. You can use it as a sponge, but it really does work really nicely. Tipping it over, just like that. Then I peel the paper off the meringue. And then this goes here in the center. And you want to spread quite a bit, but also leave some to finish off at the very end. And this is where you can be quite creative and use any kind of soft fruit that you like. It doesn't need to be raspberries, it could be cherries, nectarines, pomegranates, anything really. A bit of rose petals. These are dried rose petals. Magnificent ingredient. Sometimes hard to get. If you can't get them, don't worry, you can use other fruit. But if you can get dried rose petals, these are fantastic. Some people also make their own dried rose petals by using fresh rose petals, ones that are unsprayed, and drying them in a very low oven with a bit of egg white. So now I'm going to carefully roll this into a roulade. So I take the edges of the paper, and the paper is very important because it really helps you roll it nicely. First of all, you push down the first edge and then gently fold it over without pressing too hard so the cream stays inside. All these little marks in the meringues, the little wrinkles, really remind me of the bark of a tree. So the rest of the cream just goes on top onto the roulade. It's nice because you hide the imperfections in your meringues. And ready to spread some more raspberries and rose petals on top. Just sprinkle lightly with some pistachios. You Got all this beautiful contrast of colors of the red, the white, and the green. That's it. It's perfectly festive and I think suits any. Just gonna put the log together, the first edge, and then gently the red, the white,